I'm Eric Russell, and this is Under the Wig with Gigi Monroe.
Hi.
How are you doing tonight?
Very good.
Well, thank you for being here. Now,
Absolutely.
one thing I love to find out is, how did you pick your name?
I picked my name. It's not the best story, I'll warn you up front. But I picked my name. I really love the musical Gigi. It's a little old school, but that's what I love. And I loved Marilyn Monroe. And so when I was coming up with a name, I had no idea what to pick, but I wanted something classy, yet frisky. And so I thought that was kind of the perfect melding of the two.
That's great, because it just rolls off. Gigi Monroe. Perfect.
It's a nice ring, too.
It is. Now, you're originally from Atlanta.
Well, that's where Gigi is from, yes.
Okay, Gigi's from Atlanta. And how did you get your start?
I got my start, I was a huge fan of the drag shows, and I would go out and I would try to help and do the lights or carry somebody's bag or anything just to be around drag queens. And I thought that the shows were just the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. So I knew that one day I would eventually do it, and I decided on a whim to do an open talent night one night with a friend of mine. So we got all ready at home and on our little outfits that we put together from Rainbow, and I did Kelly Clarkson's Miss Independent.
Okay.
And I lost pretty badly. I think I was probably 7th out of 8 contestants, and yeah. But I had a great time, and they said, "Well, okay, yeah, you were okay, but you're real pretty." So I said, "Okay, well, I can work with that." And they just encouraged me to come back, and that was all I needed.
Excellent. Who inspired you in terms of drag? Like, who do you look up to? Like, oh, do you like Lady Bunny or Hannah Lettuce, Barla Jean?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yes.
I love all of the icons in our community have really paved the way for people like myself. They were out there doing it when it wasn't a popular thing or wasn't even accepted by mainstream America, and it's totally different now. So I have great respect for all of them who literally, paved the way for me to come along. One of my biggest inspirations is Lip-Synca,
Okay.
who I had the pleasure of seeing only one time. But just from videos and so forth, she does incredibly creative takes on old movies.
Okay.
And she takes monologues from different movies and mashes them up together and creates these really hilarious one-woman shows out of them. So I loved her, and I loved Barla Jean, and people who can create comedy and artistry with their drag, I love.
Yeah, because Barla Jean just has her video out, the Schoolhouse Rock parody, and just love that.
Yes.
You inspire people. You host Gigi Monroe's Drag Boot Camp, and talk about that for a minute. Like, how did that come to be? And
well, after about 5 years of doing drag full time and pretty successfully, I really wanted to help the new generation come out and be a mentor for them in a group setting. I don't have any drag daughters. I never really wanted any, and they're a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I thought that if I had a group of kids who wanted to learn, as well as compete and try to grow into entertainers, that I could really help them. And so I set up this contest. It's 14 weeks, and they compete each week, but they also have a 2-hour educational drag workshop before the contest. So they get to learn all about makeup and hair and performing and how to make their own costumes and how to do all kinds of things on their own so that they can actually launch a drag career.
what were some of the challenges with trying to teach all these kids at one time? The ins and outs of drag that you found going, oh.
Well, it really had. I wasn't prepared for it in terms of how much it would actually test my own knowledge, and trying to relay my own experience to not only one other person, but 7 other people in a way that really makes an impact. So the way that I dealt with that was just speaking from my own experiences and being very real with them about what I've gone through, what I do myself, and that is by no means the only way to do it. So I've been able to bring in other guest instructors and entertainers who can share from their experience to fill in the gaps, which has been really great. I wish I could have spent 14 weeks with all of them individually, but, you know, we do what we can.
What did you learn personally from teaching this group? What did you gain from it?
I once again learned the satisfaction that comes with helping somebody. I've always been very community-oriented and very involved in whichever community I'm in at the moment. And this was a way for me to really reach out and help people and get an enormous amount of satisfaction every time I leave here on a Monday night. I'm so overwhelmed with their energy and their desire to be entertainers, and the joy that they get every time they get on stage is so refreshing. And as a professional, you know, we sort of do this as our job, and it's like going to work some nights, and, you know, they're all right, and some nights are great, but you never really have that enthusiasm that you first have when you start doing drag. So that's been the best part for me.
Because drag is now going very mainstream. You've got RuPaul's Drag Race, you've got Drag U, there's now whole talk shows about drag. Where do you see drag going in the next 5 years?
I see it going more and more mainstream, of course. And at first I was a little resistant to that. I wanted it to be edgy and underground and a little taboo, and you know, I think one of the great things about drag is that it makes people think, and it challenges people. So I always want that to be there, but I think where we're going with drag is very much where RuPaul is already taking it,
right,
in terms of taking drag entertainers and making them actors and making them models and making them spokespeople and making them, you know, all of these different roles that we've never played before, or we've never had the opportunity to play.
Right.
So I really give her credit for that, and I see more and more of it coming.
What would you say to any upcoming either young drag queen or any young GLBT youth today? What would your message be to them?
Just do it. Just do it. Get out there and do it. Whatever it is, whatever you want to do, if it's drag, if it's expressing yourself in other ways, music, dance, art, how you dress, you know, fashion, any of those things, I think are so important to be encouraged, and especially in schools now with the lack of funding for arts programs and music programs, you know, kids don't have an opportunity to really explore that in a school setting.
Yeah.
So if you're able to find that on your own, great. Do it full out, follow your heart, you know, do what you're passionate about, and you never know what will come with it. I never thought I'd be able to do drag for a living for 4 years and live a pretty great life. And I do. And I look forward to a long career.
Right.
So, you know, anything is possible. And if I can be a role model or an example for that, then I'm more than happy to be.
If people want to contact you, do you have a Facebook page or Twitter? How can they get a hold of you?
Yes, they can find me on Facebook at / Gigi Monroe. Same thing on Twitter or gigimonroe.com.
Excellent. Now, when you're done here in Richmond at the end of the 14 weeks, where will you be heading off to next?
I get a wonderful 6-day vacation back home in Los Angeles, and then I head up to Canyonville, Oregon, where I will spend the next 10 weeks working at a casino in the mountains, doing drag and river rafting and hiking and fishing and all that stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like Priscilla, except here in the States.
Yeah.
Okay. This has been absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Eric, as always.
Love having you here. Well, I'm Eric Russell, and this has been Under the Wig with Gigi Monroe.
Thank you.
You never know whose wig I'm going to get under next, so tune in next time. Thanks for checking in.